Hello little heartbirds, it's Nerissa here from twoheartbirds.com, the internet's most deliciously passionate and exciting daily wedding video blog ever. Today I'm going to talk to you about 3 do's for a cocktail wedding reception. I will be attending a cocktail wedding on the weekend, which I'm very excited about, and I just want to give you a few tips on some great things to do if you are having a cocktail wedding reception. The first one is to make sure that there is enough food. Sometimes with cocktail functions, a lot of the time, the people, especially if they're standing at the back of the room, the food doesn't make their way to them. And often the food runs out at cocktail venues. Sometimes people really underestimate how much food people will eat, especially if half the room is, filled with men. It's a really good idea to have this food coming well before, or at least at the same time when the wine is served. The last thing you want is people to be boozed on too much wine before the cocktail food even arrives. So there's a big tip. Talk to the caterer about it. They're very well experienced in dealing with cocktail functions, and if you set your expectations of how many people are going to be there and what kind of food that you'd like, your caterer will easily be able to work that out for you. It's a good idea too, when we're talking about cocktail food, is to make it easy for the person to actually handle. So sometimes when you're in a beautiful cocktail dress and you've got your hair done, your high heels on, and one hand's got chicken wings in it, the other hand's got a dirty serviette, talk to your caterer about maybe ways around that. Maybe having food served on spoons or forks, or chips and fish in a cone, something that's quite easy for your guests to use. So there's one tip on the food. The second thing is that some people maybe have never been to a cocktail wedding reception before, or it's quite a new trend coming through. So a good way to get around having people confused is make sure that your MC is really up to speed on the seating arrangements or the plans, or when the food's served, or even where the dance floor is, just so that he can be in control of the actual reception area. Because sometimes people, if there's no seating plans, or no one knows what to do, they can be a bit confused on where to go and what to do, or even how to act. So if you have an MC who's well rehearsed and comfortable at speaking to everyone, that's an obstacle you can overcome quite well. Number 3 is to actually make sure you do have seating available for people. Sometimes if you have a cocktail function and there's no seating, expecting people to stand up all day is quite rough sometimes, especially if you have elderly people in the room, or people perhaps who have babies, or even people who have been standing all day for the reception. So make sure there's enough seating. You don't have to have seating for every single person in the room, but just make sure there's an option if people want to sit down, or sit down at a table and have a cup of tea, or talk to grandma or something like that. So there it is, the 3 tips of a cocktail wedding reception. So my little heartbirds, the question of the day is this: have you had a cocktail wedding reception? And if so, what is your number 1 tip? Till I see you again.